Hi everyone, this is Mike with a brief video on getting started in activity number 2, which is our first activity that uses Mathematica. So here we are in the My Open Math page, and if you want to find activity 2, you can go to the activities folder. And before we dive into activity 2, I just wanted to show you briefly that you can access Mathematica at home using this link at the top of the activities page. And there are videos about some initial uses of Mathematica. And if you click on this link, it will take you to the Wolfram page where you can sign in with an account if you already have one, but I suspect many of you will not. And so you'll have to create an account. And once they verify your STLCC email address, they will send you an activation code through your STLCC email address that will enable you to download a copy of Mathematica to open and work on these activities. If you want to work on these activities without downloading your own copy of Mathematica, you can do that by going to the Forest Park campus, and I suspect the other campuses of STLCC as well. On the Forest Park campus, the library and the lab in D300 both have Mathematica installed on the computers there. So if you click on activity number 2 is a discussion forum. And in that discussion forum, you can find the directions if you click on View Post Instructions. And so you can see here that the activity is contained within this notebook file right here, which I'll click on in a moment. And you'll be able to watch this video by clicking on a link right here. And what I want to mention here is just to be clear about how you turn in your work. So you're going to add a new thread here. And you can either attach all of your work within the Mathematica file, or you can attach whatever work you do in Mathematica alongside a different file, or just post directly into the discussion forum thread what your responses are. In general, my advice would be to do as much as you can in the Mathematica notebook so that you can just turn in one thing, and people who are looking at your responses, in particular myself, will be able to see everything in one spot. So when you're ready to work on the activity, you're going to click on this file and your browser will download the file. In some cases, you should be able to just open the file from here if you've already downloaded Mathematica. In some cases, though, especially I've had trouble with this on STLCC's campus of late, you actually have to open the file from within Mathematica. So you want to open Mathematica once you have it downloaded, and then you can open the file in here. Sorry. So there's my downloaded file right there, and you can open it straight from here. And this is what the activity looks like. The main two things that you really need to know about working in these Mathematica notebooks, I guess there are three things. First off, in general, you should read these instructions carefully. The instructions generally give you important information about how to complete the notebook, and folks often run into trouble when they do not read the directions carefully. So that's my first piece of advice. Second piece of advice is when you want Mathematica to compute something, what you want to do is you want to find where the cursor, if you can see my cursor here, find where the cursor goes horizontal, and that's where you can create a Mathematica input. So you can type in things like this, and you have to press Shift and then Enter, or if you have a numeric keypad, you just press the Enter on the number pad, and that will give you the answer to those Mathematica inputs. But notice again, the Mathematica inputs, the computational inputs are the ones that give you this horizontal cursor, and you just have to kind of move your mouse around until you find that horizontal cursor. If you want to convert a Mathematica input to something else, you're going to go to the top where it says Format and click on Format. And then you can change the style. You can see here it's an input. You can just change it simply to text. And that will change it so that you can type in some kind of text that you want to type. Maybe there's a comment or a response as a result of the Mathematica output that you have. But again, anytime you want to make a computation, look for where you can create one of these horizontal cursors, and that's where you'll want to go. Finally, I just want to mention a lot of times it's helpful to look for these kinds of symbol palettes. Mathematica has a very extensive syntax where you use special words and commands to do computations. But later versions of Mathematica have been really helpful in creating palettes. And so if you look at the top of your screen, you're going to look for something that says palettes, and then click on Basic Math Assistant. And that will generate this window right here for you where you can create pretty much any function or operation that you want to in Mathematica. A couple of things to note in here is that trig functions are called with capital letters, and what's nice about this is that you can see like in a tangent expression, you've got a tangent, and then square brackets are important when you're calling those kinds of functions. The ln function, the natural log function, is actually in Mathematica log, so you can see log represents the natural log function. And constants like e and I are sort of special, and so it's useful to take on this palette and use this when you want to enter in numbers like e. And you can see the keyboard entry there is the two lowercase e's put together. In any case, that is some simple things to get started with when you're working in Activity 2, and some of those things will be valuable as well as you work on future activities. If you have questions about Activity 2, be sure to send me a note or post in the weekly discussion forum, and I wish you good luck.